Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for Market Monday. Today we have a make your own stamp kit. These are not just the pieces from the recycle store, but it also has some heavy chipboard. It has two 8.5 by 11 pieces of heavy chipboard that I got at the craft outlet. And it has about an 8.5 by 11 piece of fun foam to make your stamps, and then it has enough bits from the recycle store to make these 24 stamps and to make these stamps, plus it has extra, but these you can fit on one piece of chipboard and on the other piece of chipboard, and then you can just, with the other ones that you get, you can just use regular chipboard. It's just not quite as thick, but it still works very well. So what I did was I laid these out and I copied them. And so each one of the kits has a copy of this because I thought, well, this will kind of give you an idea of how you can lay them out. Now, it looks like it's cut off here and it looks like it's cut off here, but it's not. The whole thing really did fit on the chipboard. But when I tried to copy it, my copy machine is doing something where I can't get it to line up right. And so then I was trying to get that to work so that I could copy the other one that I did. This is also on a piece of chipboard, and this is how they're all laid out. And they all fit on here fine, but like this one is kind of cut off. It looks like these are all cut off in these, but they're not. They do fit on the chipboard. So when you place them out on the chipboard, they will all fit. And I wanted to give you this so that you kind of had an idea on how you could lay them out. You can lay them out any way you want to. But I thought that would be nice, like to have it in your packet for a reference. So you have one of these, so you do not have one of these, because I tried to copy this and then it just started coming out all red. I don't know why it was coming out all red. And I put in a new black toner, and I have some stamped in color, but instead of doing it in color, I did it in black because I knew I just put it in a brand new black and it still all came out red. So this page I can't copy because after that page, it said I didn't have any ink. So I don't know what's going on. I even tried hitting like factory reset. That didn't help. So, you can come back to look at this video for a reference if you get one of these kits, if you're trying to think you are having a hard time getting them laid out. But this is how I laid them out and how they fit on here. You do want to put them, because this is really heavy chipboard. Like I said, this is store-bought chipboard. It's not, it's not just chipboard from a box, but chipboard from a box does work well also. But I wanted you to have a nice heavy piece for each set. And so when you lay them out, though, you do want to lay them very close to the edge, and, close together this way. You don't want to leave great big gaps, because if you do, then you won't be able to fit as many on your paper. But just lay them out however you can get them to fit on there. And like I said, this is 24 stamps that I made. And then there are, let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, there's 8 here. Stamps that I made with the cardboard. There are more of these bits in the kit that you can make with other cardboard that you have. That's what I made. Now, these are all double-sided sticky. These are all sticky on the back. So with these ones, you peel off the back, you stick it on the cardboard and cut it out. The double-sided sticky, you stick it on the cardboard. I cut it out after I stick it on. Then I work on each one individually, and I do different things with those. So these I use fun foam and string with. These ones, the stamp is the stamp. The unsticky side is your actual stamp. So I'll show you what they stamp like. Let me see. Okay, so that's how you can lay them out. And then this is what the stamps look like. And I'm going to show you how they stamped, and I'll tell you how I did them. So this is how they stamped. And like this one is very light, but that's because my purple was really light. But these are some of the stamps that I made right here. Well, actually, it's all of these stamps that I made with the first heavy cardboard. So I'll tell you what I did to make those. So I made a couple line stamps because I really like line stamps. And I made a line stamp. There are 2 of these on the piece of cardboard, and so I did one decorated and I did one as a line stamp, so I could when I use this as a tag, I can use this line stamp on the back of it. They'll fit perfectly together. And so this is my decorated one. And then this is my line stamp. So after I stamp this one, then I stamp the lines on it. And, you know, then this is what your tag would look like. So, and this one is just fun foam. And I just went ahead and cut thin strips. And then I just made a wavy pattern to start with. And then just followed along as I went down to the bottom. Now, whenever you do, and all three of these line stamps are all done with the fun foam. And whenever you cut fun foam in long strips like this, whenever I cut it kind of in any kind of little bits, what I do is, I don't know if you can see, there are just little pen marks on there. Because you're cutting the fun foam very thin, sometimes when it's laying on your table, it's hard to tell what is the top of the fun foam. What did I do with that? What's the top of the fun foam and what is the side? You want the top facing up, the bottom facing down. You want this thickness of the side with all of your bits. You know, you want all your bits to be that thick. So in order to know that you're not placing it side up, and I don't know how to say this. Let me grab a pair of scissors here really quick. All right, so what I do is I just go through and I just make marks. I usually do it with a pen and do it very lightly. Even a marker works because this is a stamp, so it's okay that it has those marks on it. But now it has all of these marks on it. And so we know this is the stamping side of our stamp. This is the side that we want facing up. And so when we cut these little tiny strips, when you cut them, and even when you cut just even little bits, it's nice to have that color on there because then you know that color faces up always. Because when you're looking at them, sometimes it's like, do I glue it down this way? Because it's as thick as it is wide. So it's like, where's the bottom? Where's the top? So if you have little marks on your fun foam, you will know, face everything with the marks up, and all of these will be exactly the same thickness on your stamp. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask. And I do the same things even when I do these a lot of times. I just put marks all over my fun foam, and then these are a round hole punch, a square hole punch. This is what was left after I cut out after I punched some of the squares. Then I cut a rounded, and that's square hole punch. This is just freehand, little freehand triangles, long strips, and again, punches. This is a long strip that I took my pen and pressed at intervals to put those little dents in there because then those dents don't show up with ink. So this is what I did with the fun foam for my nice fancy one. And that one turned out, here it is in brown, turns out like this. And I love the way that that looks, and I like to do different kind of patterns. You never know exactly what they're going to look like when they come out. But this is this, and it's because you turn it over to stamp it like that it looks backwards. But I love to make these kind of stamps. And what I do is I peel back a little bit of the double-sided stick, or the protection film, peel back some and work on it for a while, and then I just lay it back over so it doesn't get all covered with dust. I don't take the whole protection off. I just do it in bits at a time so that it doesn't get dusty or the oils of my hands don't get on it. My hands don't stick to it. Other bits don't stick where I don't want them to. So just peel it back and just work on some. And if you're not working on it, lay it back over there just to keep it clean. So you can make all sorts of these types of things with the round ones. This is just a piece that I had punched a bunch of the squares and the circles out of. And that one looks like this. And then this one, all I did was I put a little bit of ink on each half of it. And then when I was done, I had a word stamp and I just stamped Hope on there. And so this one is just a bunch. I have a square, just a square punch. And so I punched out these little squares and just lined them up on there. And that one looks like, let me move maybe kind of move those a little bit. That one looks like this after it's punched. And again, I just did part of it with 2 different colors of ink. And here it is, and I stamped a dragonfly on top of it. And here it is in orange and purple with a dragonfly stamped on top. So if you have some small stamps and do them in black, you know, those are really fun to do those with. And then this one, I think this one looks like a snail. Do I have a round? Here's what it looks like stamped round, which is cute. But this reminds me of a snail. And so I did make a little snail out of this one. And so I stamped it, and then I just did this, and then I just used the little square one to dress up the corners of it. But I think he turned out really cute. And let's see here. So that is, oh, here's one more. Oh, the cog. Okay, so this one, I just punched in a straight line right down the edge of my fun foam. I just hole punch, because I wanted those little circles to do this with. Then what I did was I cut it out, so now it was a long strip with circles punched in the middle, and then I cut it right down the center. So it was just little half punches. And then I just took it. See, this was the straight side, and this is where I cut it right down the center. And I just went ahead and I put it right around this circle double-sided sticky. And then I put some circles there and a little square in the middle. Looks like a cog. I love them. They're a real fun one to make, and you can make those with the small stickies or the big stickies. But I think that they look really cute. And here it is again, stamped on this tag. So you can really do a lot with these, just all on their own. This is just scrapbooking paper, and then I stamped the cogs on it. So, and then these ones I just punched out with, I had a hole punch. And so I had a couple different sizes, so I brought them out to try them. And this one, I had this wagon was in my dictionary. I did some dictionary stuff with this. And so I put it on there, and I wanted it to be a little smaller. So then I went to punch it out again, and I didn't punch it out quite evenly, but that looks really cute. And I just used a little bit of green ink on the bottom, a little bit of blue ink on the top, and then put my dictionary picture on there. And then I just rubbed a little bit of the blue ink on the top and a little bit of the green ink on the bottom, and I think that turned out cute. When I punched it out unevenly, but then I thought that was really cute too, so I thought I'd just show you that because those would look really cute together. And I think that is most of the double-sided sticky bits, because they are mostly, oh, and then here is another one. Okay, this is another one that I really like to do. And these two I made on just freezer bags, elbow macaroni. And what I did was I put them on my cardboard, and then I just started with my string and started in the middle and just went round and round and round till I got to the end. And I used 2 different, this is like a string from the Dollar Tree. This is like a decorative string for kids to make like little necklaces or something out of. I wasn't sure, you know, like which one would work the best, so I did 2 of them because there are some extras in the kit, just as long as you got a little bit of chipboard. So I just stuck that on there. When you have the double-sided sticky, when you're all done putting your pattern on there, before you do anything else, put a little bit of baby powder on there so that this part that's showing is not sticky. And that's on all of the ones that we just showed. Baby powder, cornstarch, anything that's powdery that will make this not sticky. So baby powder works really good. Cornstarch works really well. I've never tried flour, but any kind of like a body powder would work probably just fine. And that just makes all of these parts not sticky. And because they will stay sticky until you put something on there to make them not sticky. But so these are really fun to do. And I like to use these as journaling cards. And so you stamp them and they look kind of like this. This was the Fancy Kids one. This was the Dollar Tree one. And then you just write on them. It says, this is a fun way to journal about what is important to you and your family, keeping a written account of what happened with you and when it happened. And then I put a little heart right in the middle. So those are really fun to do and stamp them in your journals, or just make tags out of them like this that you can slip into your journals. So that's a double-sided sticky. Then we have the single-sided sticky. And this is the one that I don't have the layout for you in your kit because my copy machine just will not deal with me right now. But I laid those all out on one piece of cardboard, and then I cut them out individually. So they are all here. And I am going to just kind of dump them off to the side and show you what they look like after I have, what they look like stamped. So this is each one of them stamped on my paper. So, and you know, there are a few different circles, but they give you a little bit of a different look. And then some of them, like this one, it stamps better. It can stamp like this, or it can stamp better. I didn't have quite enough ink on it, and I was on my card table, which is not very even. So I forgot to just kind of actually press down all the way around it. I just kind of stamped it on there and took it off. And so I thought I'd leave it that way just so that you could see, you know, that can happen. But this is a big one, and that is this one. And the thing I really love about this one, well, there really is two. I love the little holes in it, but I love the arrow in the middle. So, and the thing is, this is a heavy foam. You can cut this any way that you want to. If you just want that arrow, you know, you could just cut out that arrow. Or you can stamp the whole thing, and then if you just want the arrow on your project, you can cut it out afterwards. But I think that arrow turns out really awesome. So, and on this one, because I've been storing them in my living room for a long time, because I kind of started to make them and then I put them aside, but something got stacked on top of this one. See, and it has a couple of little dents in it, because that's foam, and your fun foam will do that too. It has a little bit of a mark right here. Now that's the kind of stuff that I like because it just gives it a little interest. But if you don't like those things, you just, you know, make sure that when you store them on something solid, and store them so that the stamping part is on something very solid. And that way, if something sits on top of it, it's not going to put a huge dent in it that's going to show up in your stamping. So, but yeah, so that's what those look like. And so then just quickly some of the things I did with them. So I really like, where did it go? I like this one. I think it's kind of cute. Halloween's not my thing, but I just think that this one looks like a little tombstone. So every time I ever stamp this one, I always stamp it like at Halloween time, and I put rest in peace on it, you know, just the little thing. Sometimes I'll put a little something on there. And so I was showing it to my husband, and when I stamp it, after I stamp it, I cut it right across there because I don't want that little piece on there. See, there's a little extra piece right there. But also, you can also just ink right to there. You don't have to ink that part even, and then you don't have to cut it off because it won't show up. But I showed it to my husband, and he said, oh, I thought it looked like a cupcake. And it was like, oh, I never saw that before. So that's the thing with when you do your own stamps and stuff. So I said, oh, I got to try it. Sure enough, it looks like a little cupcake. So then what I did was I took the top. What did I just do with it? Here we go. And I just inked it in black because to me it didn't matter what color it was. I wanted to make myself another stamp. So I put ink right on here, stamped it on a piece of paper, and then glued that paper to a piece of cardboard. So see, it's stamped in black because I had stamped it on some paper that I glued on this cardboard. And so that I could cut the shape out. And then what I did was, again, these little bits have little tiny lines on them. Like I said, don't press hard, because if you press hard and put a dent in your little sprinkle, then that dent will show up. But I just cut all of these little sprinkles and glued them to this top part that I cut out. And so after I put pink ink here, brown ink here, stamped it on my paper, and then I took this one and with my sprinkles, put it with turquoise, stamped it right on top, and then I got the little turquoise sprinkles on there. So there's so many things you can do with these things, but they are really fun to play with. And so it's just, so we have this one here. I'm trying to just kind of show you some of the things I did with it. So that one is stamped here. I love the shape of this one. And then I did use some of my word stamps to stamp on top of it, but if you don't have word stamps, you can write on top of it. You can cut words out of books and put those on top of it. This one here has a word on it that was cut out of a magazine. And I thought that this would be cute. This is a dictionary page behind here. The stamp of this one, that is this stamp. This is also one of my favorites. I have quite a few things done with this. But I have this one here. I have a book page that I stamped this in 3 different lengths on my book page, glued it to a background. And then I had this one, and so I just stamped this one in pink. And then I put Charlie Chaplin on the front, which he was also in my dictionary. And I thought, you know, because I put this on pink scrapbooking paper, that would look really kind of cute, just like that. And then I had this one, and I thought that would look cute right there. So I'm going to put that together as a tag. I haven't decided if I'm going to put yet something else behind it or what, but I like stamping that stamp in different lengths. I think that that looks really good on a project. And that's this stamp. And this stamp, I also like to stamp it out and use it for stamping words. So here it is stamped with a thank you on it, and then I just cut around it a little larger than it was. This one I cut it a little shorter than it actually is, because, you know, you don't have to leave it exactly like it is, but I like stamping and then stamping words on top of them. So there it is, just all by itself. And this is one of the, I've got a few of these really big fancy ones. I love stamping this stamp in a nice pastel color kind of, and then using those big floaty words that stick out above and below this stamp. I think that that looks really nice. So, and again, this is the stamp that we made with the Fun Foam and the single-sided sticky. And then this is a bunch of the little circle stamps, all stamped in a couple of shades of, 1 shade of turquoise and a couple shades of brown. And the different stamps leave a little bit of a different texture to them, but they look really cool stamped on top of each other. And then that one, that's a cutout butterfly. I don't know if I stamped it or if I think I stamped it and then cut it out. But that's a cutout butterfly put on top, because here's the same butterfly. And here are, again, the same round ones, stamped in different colors, and then a little bit of the little round ones are on here too. So I stamped the butterfly and friend, and again, that's just on a dictionary page. So, and this one stamps very lightly. I'm not sure what I do with that. Oh, and then this one here, this was where I was stamping to get the top of my ice cream or cupcake. Oh, you could do ice cream with it too. And then also, I was trying to figure out a hot air balloon, what a hot air balloon looks like. And so this was like just a little piece of my paper that, like, it was all messy. I cut it into a rectangle, put practice makes perfect with a few little swirls here, and now I think it looks really cute. Put a little stitching around the edge. But this was really my like just my practice piece, because a lot of times I like to draw something out, you know, just small or whatever. And then here are some more of the little stamped in turquoise and brown. I have some big stamp pads that are turquoise and brown, so normally I grab those when I'm just trying to do samples. This is a lady with a long hairdo and a little bush and a flower, and then just some of our other stamps on here like that. And then that little one that we've already looked at, but it makes awesome little, what do you call those? Dominoes. I think that that's really cute. And for the centerpiece, I just used one of these stamps, which I also use these a lot of times for lines on my tags. You can use them for lines like that. And this is just a part of one of the Fun Foam stamps with just a little bit of sketching out of the dictionary page. And another one of our bigger circles stamped. I think it's this one. Nope. It's this one. That circle stamped with then one of the little circles stamped around the edge, and then a butterfly and a little word that says bliss. So these are all really fun. This one because it's just an outline. If you stamp it on some kind of a colored paper, the colored paper shows through behind it. So I think that these are really cute, and they make really cute little to and from cards. So I like those. I like all of them, but these are just some of the things. These are the little round ones like this, and then just stamped with a word on there. Here's our cogs again and our little arrow. Oh, and this one, I stamped the arrow on this piece of paper. I stamped this on here. And then these 4 little spots are parts of these circles. See how they didn't color with the brown because they're showing the cream background of the paper because that's where the holes were. So I thought that that was really kind of cute. And the little cog fit right in there really well. So, and again, this one makes a nice line stamp and can be used for whatever, you know, even around the edges of your papers. This is one of the stamps that I must have already tossed to the side, but it's just shaped just like this, and I think it looks a little bit like a speech bubble. We have ovals, and this one is just the triangles done in 2 colors. And you know, that really looks nice as a background. It just, if you've got 2 light colors, stamp them over each other. And, you know, where they overlap, it darkens up a little bit. And it just looks, that makes a really pretty background. You could do that, you know, with any of them. But, and then we've got this nice long one, which looks like this when it's stamped. And then again, I had this little dragonfly and one that said friends. So I used that for that. And then I loved, oh, here's the little... That's the little one that I think looks like a little speech bubble. And then this one, I think this looks like 2 things to me. It looks like a Christmas bubble. You could use it like that. Or I was thinking it looks like a hot air balloon. So I wanted to try stamping it as a hot air balloon. And what I did was I did some pink, and I did some orange, and I did some pink, and I stamped it on my paper. And then I thought, it was kind of light, and I really wasn't sure exactly. So then what I did was I took this one, and I put just half of it red, and I put it right in the middle, so that I only have half of a bit of a red circle here, because it was all so light. So I did that, and then I did it again, just half red, stamped it over here. Now this balloon was on a dictionary page. It's now been cut out, so I did it over here. It was out here too because it was on the dictionary page, and then I did it over here. And then I just went ahead and drew my lines around where that circle had colored, and I thought that looked really great. And so then I thought, well, I want to come down like this, but I wanted something on the top, and I was going to draw something up there. And then I thought, wait, the little cog would look really cool. So then I just took, which I don't, oh, here he is. So I just took the little cog, put just a little bit of ink on him, and stamped him right on the top. And is it even this cog? Do I have it? Oh, I'm trying to think, because that is actually a cog, but it might, I think it might be actually just a piece of one of my other stamps. I'm not exactly sure. I think I must have another cog out there somewhere that's got a cog with a circle in the middle. But anyways, that's another stamp, which was done like this one was done. And then the basket is the little speech bubble, and I only just inked it right to here. I just didn't ink that part of it and stamped that on there. And then I just drew a little bit of weaving, brought some lines down, and I really like the way that that turned out. And so, like I said, that's where the little thing there, and then there's the top of our little muffin. So, you know, always look at your little scrap pieces too. And this was on a big messy piece of paper, but when I cut it out and then just did a little something to it, it turned out really quite cute. So those are the kind of things that you can do with this stamp kit. And so I'm going to just slide that all over because that's all mine, so I can clean it up later. And I'll show you the kit. Here's the kit. So this is what you're going to get in the kit. And like I said, you'll be able to come back to this video for some ideas. And so here's how it's going to come. We have the layout of the double-sided sticky. And then we have, now these ones here, these are not sticky at all. but they have this is the double-sided sticky right here. You take off one side and stick this on there. And then you take off the other side and stick it on your project. So there are 4 of these. And again, remember how I said I really like the arrow? So you can do one hole. You can do one where, you know, you maybe cut out the circles. You know, you can use this in so many different ways other than just as a whole piece. So there are 4 of those. And then there is a little bag full of the little circles that you can make the dots with. So there's a little bag full of those. There are a couple of blue ones that are this size, and a couple that are this size. I can, hold on a minute, give you the actual, grab my ruler here. Okay, so there are 2 blues. And that is those are 1.5 inch circles. The white ones are 1 3/4 inch circles. And then we have a red one is about 3 3/4. And then one that is shaped like this, which in the center, because it bows out a little bit in the center, is just over 3 1/4 by almost 4. And then we have 2 that are this size. That's 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 of the long strips. And then a variety of all of the rest. So I showed you how to lay out just one of each. And in here, I believe except for, so there are just a variety. It looks like there's, you know, because I didn't count and write them down, there's like 4 of those and 4 of those. There's definitely one of each, but there are more of these, except for, I believe there's only one of, this one's a little bit larger than these. And I believe there's only one in there because I think I only had 6 of them. And so I had one for me and one to put in each kit. And I think that there's 4 of everything else of all the other bits. And then these are the little circles that come in the little bag of little circles. And then here are the others. And there are 4, I do believe, yep, because there's 4 of the big circles. There's 4 of the tombstones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the long strips, 4 of the hot air balloons, 4 of the squares. So yes, there are 4 of each of these, except that one, there is only 1, 2, 3, there's 4 sponges. Yes, so that is what is in this kit. Now, the other thing is that before I did the video, I forgot. So I am going to put in some more of these double-sided stickies, a couple more in this variety. So this is kind of what I had. So the one that I'm the most worried about are the little round circles. How many of those? I haven't exactly those sizes. But I will put in a couple more of each of these. And if these round circles are not exactly the same size, then you'll just have an even better variety. So that is what is in this kit. How you can make your stamps, how you can decorate your stamps, except I'm not done. And then we have this nice heavy piece of chipboard to lay out one set. And this is 8.5 by 11. And then there is a piece of fun foam that is 8.5 by 11. Actually, it's a little longer than 11. And then another piece of the very heavy chipboard that is 8.5 by 11. Yes. So we have the 2 pieces of chipboard, and I am putting the fun foam between the 2 pieces of chipboard to, even though it's a little bit bigger, to kind of keep it protected from the mail. So those will be in there like that. And then there are 4 of the other sizes, and except for the one small one. And I will do 4 of each of these. So there are 2 of those. So I'll add 2 more of those, 3 more of those, 3 more of those, 2 more of those, and 2 more of those. So there will be 4 of everything. And then you have a little bag full of those. So if you are interested in this kit, it is $20. It is, send me an email. My email address will be below. Send me an email and I will let you know if I have any available. If I do, then at that time you can pay with PayPal. And I don't answer the question or a request on YouTube because they don't come in order. So, and then I mail the kits out on Thursday. The $20 does include the shipping. So if you are interested in this kit and you want to make your own stamps, I thought it would be a fun thing to do. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.